My name is Michael O'Grady. I work with Efficient Farm Systems. So I'm here on the farm of Paddy and Richard Daly in Moyne in Tipperary. They have a 200 cow herd and it's a calf to beef system with the dairy enterprise as well. They have a lovely herd of cows here, and about a year ago, probably the journey is a little bit longer than that, Paddy and Richard decided to go on to the SenseHub heat detection system with an associated drafting gate with it. So we're just going to chat for a while to see what brought Paddy to that decision and talk a little bit about his farm. So Paddy, tell us a little bit about your farm here.
Yeah, we'll be milking 200 odd cows this year. As you said, about a year ago, we decided we needed something to make life a little easier and to be more accurate with breeding and AI and all that. So we looked at different other options, but we opted for the heat time. We installed it about last March. Very efficient, very accurate, does exactly as you expect it to do. Tremendous backup servers from your company now, I have to say. No huge teething problems. We installed it, put up the drafting unit, the whole lot. Very easy to work off your phone or computer. Yeah, before that we were tail painting. Tail painting is grand, but it is a chore. You know, for the first week or two, you'll be very efficient.
And how often were you topping them up with tail paint?
About once every 4 or 5 days at first, but then as the weeks progress, you get a bit lazy and it becomes a chore, and you just, you're not as efficient as you should be.
And how did you draft the cows at that stage? So you saw that the cow had the scratches going off her back. Yeah. How did you draft her?
Run out in front of them when they're going out after the milking parlour and shoo them up the crush.
And did you find that a little bit stressful for yourself and maybe for the cows?
Even more stressful for the cows because it took twice as long during AI to clean out the parlour afterwards because, they'd be just...
And did it slow down the milking a little bit?
It would a bit too because the odd one might break away and, you'd go distressed in of getting that one back and all the rest.
But you've had very, very good fertility levels with the paint. So why did you decide then to go for an automated system or a heat detection system? To
make life a little easier, but also to compact the calving a little better.
Okay.
We probably had good conception rates anyway. In around 10% is our barn rate, failure rate, whatever. But calving did drag on a bit, and we already see it from this year. We had about half the cows calved in the first 3 weeks.
That's fantastic.
So, and there's about half left now, but obviously the second half will take a little longer than the first half.
And you hoping that will the overall calving period be a little bit shorter?
Oh, I'd say so. I'd say by the end of March,
okay.
It'll be done and dusted.
And what would it have been before? Would
be some of them dragged into April and maybe the other one into May.
Okay, so there's a financial benefit apart from the stress of calving a cow.
Also with the app, we can see straight away the probability of dosing calf.
Okay.
So we probably pulled the bulls earlier this year. You go through the list. It gives high, low, medium.
Brilliant.
So the more that's in the higher, the more confident you are. That's more of them have. That
they're in calf. So when you got the systems, how do you work it? How do you find it? Like, do you work it off the app? So obviously the cows got the collars in last March, was it? Okay. So what happened after that then?
It takes a week or two, well maybe 3 weeks for the system to recognise the cows and
their patterns
and all that. Once we got going, bringing in the cows morning and evening, you open the app, it'll give you the list of the cows in heat and it'll give you those that are ready to be AI'd and you just swipe across them to sort them. Then they'll just automatically be sorted, waiting in the pen for when you're AIing.
Oh, that's brilliant. And you were saying that it's timed, so obviously the way the system works is once the cow gets to peak restlessness, which is peak heat, it then has a clock to time down over that 26 hours. So at what stage do you try to AI them? Do you work it off the system, off the little app?
I always work it on between 8 and 23, I think is the prime numbers for AIing. So whenever they're within that zone, I'll AI them.
And did it take you a while to get used to it?
No. After a week, you become fairly efficient with it. It's like any bit of technology. You fool around with it. You can't mess it up by pressing the wrong button.
No. Okay.
So you just from using it becomes second nature.
So after you ordered it, what happened?
After I ordered it, first thing I had to do was get Wi-Fi, which was into the office here in the yard, which was the biggest delay. But the technicians arrived one morning. They installed the drafting units. At the same time, we put on all the collars on the cows, and then you have to put in all the information of the cows onto the app or onto the computer. And then after that, it was basically ready to go.
So talk to me about the drafting system. Why did you get the drafting system?
I think you're kind of defeating the purpose of the collars unless you have the drafting system to go with it, you know, because they go hand in hand. It's all about making life easier and more accurate for yourself. Basically, just to make life a bit easier and save a bit of time, you know. And
how have you found it? Is it catching the cow? Is it catching all the cows, or is it missing many of those cows that you want to have coming through?
It's rare that it'll miss a cow.
That's good.
I have to say, because of the backup service, it came at one stage there during last year. It was missing a few of them, but the technicians arrived in the yard one morning, and it was just a matter of millimetre settings on the sensors because we probably have bigger cows, so they just had to move the sensors to suit bigger animals. It was missing the odd one, but since then, 100%.
And do you use the drafting system for anything else apart from the heat?
Actually, very, very handy. We didn't know it at the time when we bought it. For drying off, we'd draft the cows we want to dry off, say in the morning, and leave them out in the paddock, and the following day bring them in and dry them off.
It is great for that, isn't it?
Absolutely great, actually. No hassle. You just go out after milking the cows you want are in the yard. They're separated. You just let them off onto a bare paddock, bring them in that evening or the following morning, dry them off, hassle-free.
And would you do a similar thing if you're going maybe foot batting or trimming cows or something like that?
For cow you want to take back for foot batting or hoof trimming or for whatever.
So obviously the system is able to pick up the heat of the cows, and as you said, you're very happy with that. From the health side, what have you found?
Yeah, it does pick up. Maybe during the year when you're milking your cows twice a day, you're looking at the cows, you'll probably 9 out of 10 times you'll pick up a sick cow. Where it really comes into play is at dry time.
Perfect.
When you mightn't be walking through your cows every day, or you definitely wouldn't be looking at them twice a day. It has picked up one or two of them over the winter. One cow now, she had pneumonia, which I hadn't spotted, and got her.
So
out.
what happened? How did you know that she was ill? Or?
I got an alert on the phone.
Like a little text, was it?
Yeah. Which was unusual, and just saw her, picked her out, and when I stood her up, I knew there was something wrong with her. Got her out, got the vet to her. She had pneumonia. She got treated. She was right as rain after a day or two.
And did you see any symptoms?
I didn't, no, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it's amazing. You see, basically cows don't want to show their weakness. This cow doesn't want to show any weakness anyway. The cows don't want to show their weaknesses to other cows. So it's a stoic trait that they have. So generally they're trying to show that they're actually quite healthy, even though they're actually a little bit sick. So the system is designed to pick up the ruminations have dropped, her eating behaviour, her moving behaviour will have changed. So then it'll send you a signal to say that she's sick. So do you plan to use it now? Because obviously after the cow's calf, within 30-35 days, she'll be back cycling again. And we have a report in it that'll tell you the cows that's not cycling then, so before you go to the breeding season. Do you plan to use that report maybe to be able to talk to your vet if a cow's not cycling or whatever? What are you thinking about doing that now in the next month?
I will, Michael. Definitely. I reckon it'll be more efficient this year because the cows will be on it for 12 months, so it'll have a whole profile built up of the cow. Any of them that's cycling or non-cycling, I actually did it last year. You get a report, pick them out. A few of them saw to the vet. There were no major issues.
Is there anything? Did any collars die during the year? How did all that go? How have the collars performed? How has the system performed just physically for you for the last year?
They all worked. None of them malfunctioned. Not that I know of anyway. No, if any of them are down or batteries gone, it'll let you know. But no, it hasn't been an issue. And also, it's very easy for when you're culling cows. You just go to the app, remove the collar or change the collar to another cow. It's just a click, job done. You reuse the collar then on a heifer or whatever. And
have you seen any updates? Because we provide automatic updates. Have you seen any updates on the device?
There's a new update there recently, actually. Yeah. I presume I haven't been using it much, but I presume it's more efficient.
Yeah. So what it's doing now is it's looking at the cow in that 10 days before she calves, from day 260 up to 278. More finely see if there's any issues going on, and then from day 278 when she's calved on, it's keeping an eye on her during that transition period to see if she's so it's looking at her more closely, so it'll tell you if anything's going on.
Now that you say that, I did get an alert for a cow she was into calve. She calved there this morning. Obviously, it picked something up, but
Yes.
I didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
I just thought she wasn't eating much because she was close to calving. But yeah, it was the new update.
That's the
that
new
was
update.
it. So yeah.
So it was a big investment for yourself and your brother. Obviously, you were deciding that you wanted to save a bit more time and maybe come back to calve. And how were you able to decide which one to go with, and how did you justify it? Because it was a big investment when you include the drafting system as well.
Yeah, it is a big investment, but it's a long-term investment. We looked at others and we spoke to people who had the heat time and all nothing but good reports about it. So we met Alan and we did a deal with him. We were happy with the arrangement and we went for it. 10 years time we're going to still have it. It's not something you use and throw away after a couple of years. Initially it's a big investment, but it's a long-term investment.
Long-term investment, okay. So obviously when you invested in a paddy, there was an investment cost and all that, and obviously you're moving away from a completely different way of doing it. Tail paint and monitoring the cows, and then the physical movement of the cows, stopping them coming out of the parlour. Did it take you a while to get confidence in it, or how?
Yeah, it did, Michael, of course. It's like any new technology, you have to be sure of it and build up confidence, but confidence comes with using it. When you see it actually works. I'm sure this year now it'll be more efficient because we'll have 100% confidence in it. We won't be afraid to use it.
And did you continue to tail paint at the beginning, or did you just say, no, I'm going to trust this, I believe what's going to happen?
We didn't tail paint. We just we gambled on it.
I'm sure you like doing a little bit of painting. No.
That's part of the reason we put them on. You'd be sick of painting it. It's a job. It's another extra job you have to do.
Okay.
It's all about time management and making life a bit easier for yourself. The hard work is taken out of it. It's just they're drafted, UAI and let them off, job done. And with the app, it keeps an eye on them, and we know exactly what's happening. It's the next best thing to having a bull with your cows the whole time. The collars, because it'll tell you exactly what's
that's very good.
What's ready for AI.
Okay, that's very good. Paddy, we're delighted. Paddy and Richard, we're delighted to be part of your farm here. As you can see, it's a great setup, great cows. I just want to thank the lads for their time, and you're more than